What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Progress Always, where we're here to build the fittest leaders. And I've got the honor and the pleasure of sitting down with Joe Tepe, the founder, the owner of the Strip CrossFit, and a handful of other. You meet everyone's fitness needs in Vegas. You go to the Strip to get to the Strip, and getting to know you, man. It has been just a really enlightening experience because of your time, coming up in the Midwest, getting into the nightlife scene, and then making the shift into fitness entrepreneurship. It's been just kind of like exploring your journey, both in conversation and then stalking your social. Dude, your dad bod post today was awesome, and you're an example of, one, what can be done, two, how it should be done, and then just the shift. And you're also a husband and a father making all of this happen. So that's kind of where I want to start, is how you made the shift from the nightlife industry. Okay, that started back in Ohio, correct?
No, that was here. I was in nightlife for back in Ohio, I worked at a restaurant, and that's actually what brought me to Vegas. Hospitality. Is like I was working at a bank, but I was also serving tables at a steakhouse, and hated talking about other people's finances and being in a bank. And that was, what I was going to school for at Ohio State. And it made me miserable. Like, people like complaining that they weren't getting a high enough yield on their savings account, and like this fee and that fee, and just sales. Like, the sales side was fun. Like, when I worked in the restaurant, trying to get a little bit more on a check, or talking to somebody about wine. And that was kind of where I found my curiosity for hospitality, was through wine and through kind of learning the sommelier and that type of stuff. And was working for a pretty prominent steakhouse called Smith & Wolinski. And I looked at a couple of the different locations. There was one in New York, one in Miami. Vegas was kind of the third. The cost of living was so much cheaper in Vegas compared to the other two, that I was like, all right, let me just see how hospitality is. So I told my parents that I was going to give it a year. And 19 years later, I'm still in Vegas. So, it's transitioned quite a bit.
I'm over here calling it nightlife, but hospitality is 100% the more appropriate term. And that's how I experienced your facility in Vegas.
Yeah.
Like, the things that go into making you great in hospitality, I feel like you have poured that into the Strip. How did you marry hospitality and fitness? Or were those very obvious dots to connect, or was it like an exploration of try this, try that?
So, when I first opened my gym, my CrossFit gym 8 years ago, I'm at that time, it no longer exists, but I was 1.5 miles away from a 13,000 square foot CrossFit gym with 3 seminar staff coaches, a competition team, and numbers of accolades for visitors, for members, for anything. So my whole thing is when I opened, I said, I have to differentiate myself, and I have to define what that is and how I'm going to be different, and what would set me apart in a 3,000 square foot gym compared to a 13,000 square foot with competitors and the best of the best in terms of coaches and things like that. So I kind of went back to the drawing board, and I was like, all right, if I took this from a hospitality standpoint, and I was like, I want to deliver the best experience from start to finish, how would I do that? And what person am I going to, what is my avatar person that I want to attract for this? So my initial one was that one thing that you could see if you walk in the doors of my CrossFit gym is that we don't praise any PRs, is that there's no PR boards, there's no leaderboards. Everything is on the Wodify system. Everything's back of house. You can see all that, but it's nothing that you're going to see when you walk through the door. The things that we do show accolades for is the amount of attendance. So when you walk in through the front door, you see our 100 committed club, our 250, our 500, and our 1,000. And those boards, everybody can be part of, no matter where your fitness is, based on how long you've been here and how long you've been part of our community. And that I think is really the kind of the structure that like I wanted to show, is that like, hey, you can get there. You just need to put in the time. And that the can'ts aren't the, like, I'll never have a 6-minute mile, or I'll never be able to bench press 315. But like showing the like, hey, I can get to 100 classes. I can do this. And like trying to tell people that like, hey, these are all people that believe in us. And that like, if you're here, we will get you what you're looking for, but you got to give us the time to do it, and trying to like get people aware of that quicker to it. So, I mean, that was kind of the one. The second was that, we have very nice locker rooms. We have showers. We have very nice facilities. The entire gym's air conditioned. So like creating that like little bit higher kind of nuanced gym over what was available down the street. We also thought that very early on that, hey, we're going to keep classes to 7 to 8 people. We're going to go super small. We're going to give a lot of coaching. We're going to continue to kind of progress people at their own pace, but that it's going to be a much more hands-on approach, being that we didn't have, again, 300 members when I opened. I opened with 12. I think the number was 12. 12 total members. And I remember sitting there at a seminar. We had to postpone the opening of the gym because there was something wrong with the ADA compliance on the showers, because I chose tile and it made it too small. So they now had to move an entire wall. So because of that, it postponed it about a month to do it all and then get it all redefined. So I went to a Ben Bergeron summit up in Chicago, flew up, did the summit. And the first thing he said was, until you have 50 people that are following you, you have no reason to open a gym. And I'm like, well, I got 12 and I'm opening in 30 days. But here's the bottom. And he's like, well, I mean, you can do it. And I told him, obviously, I'm like, I'll be all the labor. I'll do all this. I'll do all that. Hopefully we're going to get X number of drop-ins that'll cover rent. And within a month, we were profitable. Were we good? No, but like the gym wasn't losing money. Like there was a profit line to it. I didn't have to beg, borrow, and steal from members from other gyms, which to this day we've still not like ever had. Which I kind of always applauded myself on that gym down the street, plus the other gym that I was a member at and a part-time coach. Like we never felt like we needed to poach and or like try to take away from somebody else to build mine.
That brings up a really great question and a through line, because you're very upfront. There's no trickery. There's no like angle to the conversations that we've had. And I remember when I left the Marine Corps and I was going to open Next Level, back then CrossFit PHX.
Yeah.
I was coming out of the bodybuilding season of my life when I was introduced to CrossFit as we know it.
Yeah.
And a buddy of mine who I got my L1 with invited me to a gym. And, back then, if you were good at CrossFit, you could coach CrossFit, right?
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, nobody split snatched. And that's the only way I had snatched way back in the day.
Okay.
And they were testing levels at this gym. And just like you, it doesn't exist anymore. And I was like, they had 185 on the bar. And to test I'll never forget this, to test into level 3, you got to be able to snatch 185. And I was like, well, can I split snatch this? And his response was, if you think you can. I was like, okay. Drilled it. And he's like, do you want a job?
Yeah, your skill, because you are an athlete, you are also not a coach. You're like, I have no idea how I do it. I just got it up over my head.
Yeah, you passed the eye test. You can coach here. Like, back in 2012, that just lets you know where the standard of coaching was, right?
Yeah. Do you have a video of that snatch?
What's that?
I said, do you have a video of that snatch?
No. It was pretty. Yeah. But I was like, dude, this is what I'll do. I will apprentice if you show me all the back of the house stuff. Because I know everything about fitness, had my CSCS, all that kind of good stuff.
Sure.
Didn't know shit about business.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'll do that deal. And just so we're on the up and up, I won't open my facility because all roads lead that direction. You're not going to dangle a big enough carrot that's going to keep you on your team. On a handshake, just just an integrity driven deal. I was like, I won't open up in your backyard.
Yeah.
later on, I open up on the other side of town, and then he opens up another facility two blocks down the road. But so the question there, I tell that story to set up this question. You were a member at a gym, and then you went and you opened your own place. And
there was a pit stop in between there, though. So I was a member of the gym down the street, which is no longer there. But then I moved to another gym due to a disagreement between me and the owner, just about some like open gym practices, and it was just one of those dumb. I said something, he said something. It's his house. I'm a member. If you don't like it, get out. And I said, all right, I'm out. Again, we're friends now to the day. I text him regularly. His wife was a member of ours when they closed their gym. We have a good relationship now, but it was one of those just kind of heated man conversations where like I was staying on my ground, he was staying in his, and obviously it was I was staying in his house, and you're not going to win that one. You know what I mean?
Right.
But so I left there, became a member of another gym, a little bit further from where my gym is. As a member, still no intent of like owning a gym or opening a gym or anything like that. And then when I finally did decide I was going to, I asked him and I said, hey, like, would you mind? Like, I'll coach for free. I'll do this. Like, can you help? Like, can you help let me learn the back ends of the workings of the system of that? And he was very welcoming, very open to it. We still have a good relationship, although like we don't talk very much. He's no longer a CrossFit gym. He still has two gyms, but no longer in the same type. And his sunsetted is one next to me, I say next to me. It was like 4 miles away, but has two more like kind of in the suburbs that are still successful and still doing really well.
Where does that level of integrity come from for you? Because I think that story, my story, is so rare. Like just being upfront and above board about your intention and what you want and all that kind of good stuff. Because out of that same gym, I was involved in conversations with people that are like, hey, don't tell him that I'm going to go open. Like 5 or 6 of those back in the day. And I was like, what? Coming from the Marine Corps, I thought everybody was like, dude, we'll move mountains for pizza and beer. What do you need, bro? Like, why do we have, what's with all the secrets? I was not used to that. And I was so disenchanted by like the secrecy and the lack of integrity in something that's supposed to be so community driven. Right. So where does that show up for you? Where does that come from in you?
I think that, from the 13 years that I worked in nightlife, I dealt with a lot of people that were turnover. And I dealt with a lot of people that it was like all about the quick buck, all about like, what can I get the person to spend in front of me today? And my thought is like, I want to have them have such a memorable time, spend a good amount of money, but continue to seek me out year after year after year. And I feel like that's always been kind of my angle to it, is that like I want to keep you longer, and therefore I will win. I don't need to win by like being shady. I don't need to win by like I don't know. It's like I look at it as it's like the quick buck, or like the secret is like I'm going to do it secretively because it's maybe easier. Maybe it's like the person, I can get one over on them, and therefore I'll be a little bit ahead of where I might have been if I was just upfront and honest. But if you're like upfront and honest and you're like, hey, I'm going to do this, but hey, we'll both be competitive and I will work, you will work. Like, I feel like my whole thought is like, if you say like, I'm secretive, well, I want to run a little bit of the race and let you maybe try to catch up. Instead of you and the Marines, you're like, I'll fucking work till I need to not work to make it work. And like, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to succeed. I hope you are as well. And we will see who ends up at the end. Hopefully it's both of us.
Right.
But I won't quit. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same as a CrossFit workout. Like, I mean, it takes a lot of like mindset sometimes. And there's times where like, yeah, you do feel like you're going to quit. And I mean, I feel the same way. Like, I've had times where I'm laying there in bed and I'm like, my entire world's collapsing. I'm going to have to close the gym in 3 days. And it's all because 3 people canceled on the same day. You know what I mean? Like, you're just like, like years later, I mean, it changes though. And I mean, you reframe it, you continue, and you're like, this is that hard part of the workout. And you know what? Just keep doing it. Chunk away at 2 more reps, chunk away at 3 more reps. It's going to finish. You're going to succeed. And you're going to be happy that you did it. And like my whole thing, I mean, but it's the same thing as like, what if you cut a corner on a mile? Like, do you want your name on the leaderboard because you fucking cheated yourself? Like, do you want to stand with that? Like, I feel the same. Like, that is just the same as like not wanting to tell the owner when you know not telling them is like the harder truth, the harder way to do it. You can cut the corner of the mile. You might get there faster and you might have the time on the leaderboard. But like, what's that say about you? Like, you're not like, you have no integrity. Like, how do you want your clients to like believe in you? Like, like it's gonna, I don't know. It might not come out. It might come out. But like, if you build it the right way, at least like, you know that like it was done in value.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my take on it.
Yeah,
again,
no, for sure. Where does that standard for Joe come from?
I mean, the standard for me, I think it's, I don't know, like, I guess a lot of it was like, I mean, if you want to do the like whole like philosophy of like the like thing, I think it was that I lied to myself too many times when I was younger, and that like when I did get fat and I was like overweight and I told myself like this is normal, and like you continue to lie to yourself, and then you realize that like if you're truthful with yourself, you can do whatever you want to do. And that like, I mean, that gave me a better path than, I mean, if you want to like, I mean, maybe that's the like psychologist laying on the couch type version of it. But like, if I were to like boil it down, like the best truths were when I had the hard truths with myself. And therefore I feel like the truth is better than any lie in terms of like business, financial, family. Like, just tell the truth. It might hurt. It's a little like tough. It might be the thing that you don't want to hear. But like, I mean, if it's the truth, then there's way, I mean, and people have gotten through it in the past, then there's got to be ways for me to get through it now. Yeah. And like that, I guess you could say would be like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess, I mean, in a very younger age, like I did dumb shit. Like, you know what I mean? I lied to myself. I told everybody that like stealing was just something that people did. You know what I mean? Like just dumb shit. Yeah. Like back when you're a teenager, college, like, oh, I don't like, I can take out a credit card, max it out and not pay it back. You know what I mean? Like, what are they going to do? Like, I'm still living, I'm still breathing. Like, but like, I mean, you take ownership of it. You're like, hey, like, this isn't like, I don't know. Like, it just, I think that like getting my health in order was the first thing that like gave me that path of like, hey, like this is like being truthful. What was the beat you over the head moment that sparked the honesty with yourself? So back, it's like 20 years ago. Yeah. 29, like a year or two before I moved to Vegas. I was at Structure, which is now Express, like men's store. Yeah. And I was trying on jeans, and the last pair of jeans that they had, size 40, no longer fit. So the guy's like, hey, like, I mean, this is the last size that we have. Like, I would probably suggest like a big and tall store. And like, that was just the like aha moment. That was just like, hey, like, this isn't normal. This isn't healthy. Funny, like if you were to go to Express now, there's probably a size 40. Yeah, there's probably all the way up to like a 48. I mean, just they had to adjust. They had to adjust the population norms of like that. But I mean, fuck, back then, I mean, 38 was the largest. 38 was the largest size that they had on the shelf, and 40 was what I needed. And yeah, it wasn't available there. And I mean, that was kind of the, I mean, aha moment that like what you're doing is not right. That like this isn't the norm. This isn't like you're at an extreme of like obesity. I mean, you're doing things that are like harming yourself. I got super down the rabbit hole of like fitness and diet and health. And I mean, almost went, I don't want to call it anorexic, but I mean, got pretty like super like picky about my diet. I ate nothing but like cans of tuna, sliced chicken, mustard, seasonings, and water. And dude, you went for it, huh? Okay. Yeah, and ephedra. I took like back when that was legal. So I'd take like the max dose, like the 4 pills per day, twice a day, 2 pills twice a day. Yeah. Sweat my balls off like every single day. pitting out like my work
shirt.
shirts. Like I'd have like napkins tucked underneath my armpits just to like keep me from like just pitting out like my red shirts at the electronics store that I worked at back then. But I mean, it was it was a hard 2 years. But I mean, like everybody, I felt like my mom got mad at me. Like she'd be like, "I can't believe you're not going to enjoy your sister's birthday cake." I'm like, "Mom, I can't believe you're going to jeopardize isn't the right word. I can't believe you're going to like mess up what I have going on right now and think that me celebrating my sister's birthday has everything to do with the birthday cake and not me being here present to participate."
Dude, so okay, this is a lot of what I coach, what we coach at the next level, in that when you make that decision, when you commit to a higher, better version of yourself, the first thing the universe is going to give you is resistance, and it's going to come, and it's not going to come from some asshole who clowns you on the street that you're never going to see again. Typically, that resistance presents itself in your nearest and dearest.
Yeah.
Right. And that's going to be your first test of how committed are you to this better version of yourself. Have you always, when you flip the switch and you commit, has it just been who Joe is to be so dogmatic, like in it with the process? Or did you stumble a couple of times and that conversation with your mom was the manifestation of lessons learned? And like, if I don't respond this way, I'm going to get derailed?
I think there's been iterations of it. I don't think it's been a perfect process. And I mean, I don't think that path, like from like 282 pounds to like all the way to the extreme, like 179. Like, I mean, I was like super thin. I mean, I sit at like 205, 210 now. But like, I don't think that my mom and my family kind of pulling me back in the bucket or trying to like, I don't think she was trying to necessarily like mess me up. I just think that like her intention was that like, this is the things that people do during these events, and that me not doing it was creating a state of uncomfortableness for everybody else.
Yeah.
And like, I don't think it was like intentional. I don't think I don't give my mom any type of like resentment or anything for it. I just think that it was norms of like, hey, like when like people bring something over, like we all share in it. Like when somebody presents something, like you like, and I like not a, and mine wasn't like, I'll have a bite and I'll stop. Mine was no, like zero. Like it was either like, it was very black or white. It's not, if it wasn't chicken or canned tuna, it wasn't in it. Like, it wasn't like a variation or like a macros or like, hey, I'll just hit my calories for the day. But like, no, it wasn't chicken. It wasn't turkey. It wasn't tuna. Like, no, zero. Like, it's just not going to be not one of the things that are like what I'm doing currently. I mean, that's obviously come down significantly now. And I mean, it took a long time. And I mean, I not a health coach, but I mean, I was like working with a little bit, sat through a couple different seminars and talked with a couple different people. And I mean, it took me a long time to reintroduce carbs and get that back into it. And I mean, it is more of a macro approach now, but I mean, I would have those swings where, I mean, I'd be in nightlife and I mean, I'd have like a normal cheat Saturday, a crazy Sunday, or I'd go into the weekend, I'd weigh 199 on Friday morning for my like workouts, and I'd be 215 Sunday night. Like, I mean, that was my body though. Like, it would just like hold on to everything. And I mean, like it was such a yo-yo. And I mean, it got to the point where, I mean, like through talks and like letting the carbs back in, becoming a lot more like traditional, I guess you could say, in terms of diet. Again, not $7 at Wendy's, but you know what I mean? Like that never exists. I can't tell you the last time like I've had fast food like that.
Yeah.
But like it's not a non-negotiable, meaning like it's not like a zero sum. Like I'll go to a restaurant and I'll eat bread. Like I'll eat the dessert when it comes out. I mean, no matter what it is, but the next day I'm not having dessert, not having bread, like in large capacity. You know what I mean?
Did you have like a goal in mind? Like, because I know you as somebody who's so intentional. Did you have like a goal in mind? Like, once I hit this number, I can bring it back to moderation? Or did you swing it so hard for so long, you had to do more deep work to come back to center?
I think like it was such an extreme to get it to where I did. And like, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know where I wanted to get it, but like, then like it kind of came back to like a little bit of like, well, I still want to have some fun. I still want to be able to like, I moved to Vegas, like I was going out, like, I was going to nice restaurants and stuff like that. So it was like, I didn't want to not like, as long as it never shifted back up higher, like, but
Yeah.
there would be shifts. Like there was
Mm-hmm.
it would not extreme, but there was a pendulum between probably 190 and 210. And over the course of a week or 2 weeks, like it could fluctuate or get
Mm-hmm.
up there. But
Yeah.
like, I now knew the habits that could self-correct it back down based
Yeah.
on any circumstance. No
Mm-hmm.
matter what was thrown in front of me, I could eat like crap for 5 days or 7 days. And like, I knew how to get it back to baseline. And
Yeah.
I think that became like the new norm around the 200 mark.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and it also like, I was also like, my fitness though was kind of like ebbs and flows too. Like I really didn't have a community until I started CrossFit. 12
Yep.
years ago, where
Mm-hmm.
like I found joy in showing up. Like I missed it when I wasn't there. And
Yeah.
like people are so infatuated about like, well, CrossFit, like I could just go to the gym and do this. I was like, yeah, but do you enjoy it? Do you miss it?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Right.
do you like want to like do you want to be at the gym by yourself, or would you rather be with 10 other people that are just good people that are pushing
Mm-hmm.
you for that last extra ounce? And then when you're done, you're like, hey, like I'm happy to come back tomorrow. As
Right.
opposed to like, I have to do this for health. It's like, find a group of people. And that's what I always tell people. I'm like, whether it's Pilates, yoga, spin, boot camp, CrossFit, like I don't give a fuck. Like
Yeah.
if you can see yourself doing it a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, that's the fitness you need to do. You just need to be more successful, take more
Yeah.
consistency in it, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to bigger like swings of the pendulum back and forth.
Yeah. What was your significant moment in nightlife that forced your hand or created the
Yeah.
awareness that, you know what, this isn't forever for me. I'm going to go do this gym thing.
Yeah, so I was working in nightlife. I was there for about 8 years. Doing very well, pretty successful, and exited nightlife to go work for a client of mine to open a hospitality project that was in Chicago. It was going to be a skyscraper. There was another project slated for Dallas and another one in DC. And like that was my exit. I was like, I did what all the other people do. It's like kind of like kind of like being a stripper. Like there's only a certain time that you can stand at the front door. There's only a certain amount of time that you can be at a strip club as a girl. Like I found my exit. I found my like knight in shining armor to like run off with. Like that was my old boss. And like it was all going good. And then it wasn't. Like the project never got off the floor. Paychecks started bouncing, and like I had to go back into nightlife. And like it was the second time when I went back and I was there. I was in a relationship. I was wanting to start a family. And like it was no longer the fun stuff that I was doing. Now I was doing it for the paycheck and for the money. And like the joy wasn't there. I didn't want to be there like 5 years from then. I didn't want to be there 10 years from then. It was like, what is my exit? And how am I going to like transition out of this?
Right.
So that was the moment that I told Whitney that I was like, hey, I want to open a gym. I keep telling the other coaches at the gym that I'm at, this is the model. This is what you got to do. There's no gyms by the strip. Open it based on drop-ins, build a membership organically, promote to these people. You'll be able to do it. And like nobody else picked it up. Nobody else wanted to run with it. I'm like, I'll invest in it. I'll do this. And I'm like, I told Whitney, my wife, and I'm like, hey, I want to do it. And she's like, what's it going to take? I was like, a lot of fucking hard work. She's like, let's do it. She's like, let's do it. She's like, you love it. Like it's the place that you're most happy when you're not working at night in the casino. And she was, on board from day one. She didn't see me
Yeah.
for like the first 2 years. I coached 9 classes a day from 6 a.m. till 8 o'clock at night. I did all the onboarding. I did all the cleaning. I did all the like programming. I did everything. I was a one-man band. It wasn't for 6 months that I even had somebody like covering or enlisted as basically like just part-time help.
Yeah.
And even when it was just Wednesday nights, and that was it. It was like a break in my week. It was like Wednesday nights with like, let me get a little bit of a reset. And then we were closed on Sundays.
Okay.
And then that person asked me if he could start coaching classes on Sundays because he wanted more. And I'm like, he was young at the time. And I was like, it's better not be a puppy. I'm like, I'm not taking over. I'm like, this isn't like a 2 months and then, hey, I need help covering it. So we added Sundays. He coached that. He coached the Wednesday evenings. And I mean, just give away a little bit, find something else that was higher leverage, bigger opportunity to fill my time.
Yep.
And I mean, that was kind of, that's kind of been the entire process for the last 8 years is like unload something, but fill it with something else that builds something a little bit bigger. And if I can't figure out what that is, then I don't feel like it's comfortable unloading. Meaning like if I'm not finding something to do bigger, do like bolder things and to like fill my time like that, like, again, some of that's come back to a little bit of like work-life balance now. But I'm also fully aware that like if tomorrow everybody were to quit on me, that I would go back in and I would put in the hard work and I know how to work hard. But like that being said, like that's not, I mean, it's only sustainable for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And it's also a lot better when you can bring people along with you.
Yeah. 100%.
And like that's kind of been my new motto. I know we spoke about that when we were down at the like thing is like, hey, I want to have ideas and aspirations so big that everybody that's within that buys into me, that I can find room for their goals.
Yeah.
And like that's kind of my North Star now, and kind of been like what I aspire is that like if somebody comes in as a member, they buy in for their fitness, they come to me saying like, hey, I want to be a coach, I want to do this. That like, hey, I want to do everything within my power to find opportunity for you to do that within my realm or within my scope of gyms. And hey, if it's not there yet, like doesn't mean it's not going to be available in a year or 5 years or 10 years in the future.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's kind of been like what I'm kind of not transitioning to, but kind of like looking towards is like bringing everybody else that's bought into me along for as long as I can and try to give them the opportunity to not, like you said, like, I mean, the gym owner that you traveled under, like there was no way that he was going to be able to convince you to stay.
Right.
You know? And like, I mean, so be it. Like, I mean, most CrossFit, I mean, sad enough, most CrossFit coaches make $15, $20, $25 per session. Right. And like they do it as a part-time hobby. Cause you can't like, even if you're doing that 40 hours a week, which is uncomfortable, like you're making $850 coaching 40 hours on your feet. Like you're dead. Like you can't do that. So like, I mean, I'm very, open about it, but I mean, we pay our coaches, $50 per session. My number one coach, she makes almost $100,000 a year purely off of like our gym. Like she has other stuff as well to make more money. And like, I want that to be like the thing is like, I forget where I heard it, but it's like paying other people more money never makes you less money. If you have the right intentions to it and you're doing it the right way. Like if you can find opportunity, like you'll continue to make more as long as it's like, as long as the numbers make sense and you're pragmatic and your maths, I guess. You can very easily break the system. I mean, obviously, like if I were to just jump them all to like $100 per session, like, it would break the system and it's unattainable. But like making a little bit extra as opposed to like keeping everybody a little bit longer, like it keeps me more sane. I have to do less training. I have less turnover. I have less worry about that. And I just continue to kind of like do that, I guess you could say.
Yeah. I want to back up to the most important hire, and I use that facetiously, your wife.
Yeah.
How did you find her, and how have you been able to navigate your relationship and your drive for business? Because I feel like that's the most critical relationship that either makes or breaks everything that you're doing over here.
Yeah. So, I mean, she's always been a worker. I mean, she's always been like, she was in hospitality a little bit as well. She then was insurance. I met her actually when I was working at a nightclub. She was actually roommates with one of the guys I worked with. And asked her out probably a dozen times. And every time it was, no, I'm out of town. No. And then like finally like got the first date. Finally got the date. And then like from then, it was like we're inseparable, I guess you could say. And then, again, like she's a worker. She, has always been like, she will stand on her own. She doesn't need my support in that way. And then like that time came when we opened the first gym. She was working at Topgolf, like in hospitality, managing and also serving. And like, she's like, whatever we need, like I'll work more to make sure that we are good. and like knew that like, hey, I was out there like chasing specific goals, but that like the goals were to like I wanted to be the provider, and like, but like there was going to be a learning curve to it, and there was going to be a down session before like the rewards of bringing it back up.
Yep.
Then you fast forward it. We got pregnant. She birthed our daughter. She was working from home selling insurance, and like I could see that it was like tearing her apart. That like Addie like was 6 months old. She was upstairs with a babysitter. Yep. We were paying the babysitter almost $1,000 a week to like do that. So I was at the gym. Whitney was downstairs, and like she's making like probably a couple hundred, maybe $300, $400 more than what we were paying the babysitter. And I said, Whit, like I want you to retire from insurance. And like we had a hard conversation. It was tough. And I was like, I will do whatever we need to do in the gym to make it that we make this work. I want you to take care of our daughter. I want you to be there for her. I want you to do that. And then in your free time, because I know you're a worker, let's find you something within our business instead of helping somebody else's business.
Dude,
So that was like
that's awesome,
moment, man. That like, I mean, it was hard. She had never stepped away from like full-time work. Like, and I mean, having a daughter, raising a child, like that is work. Like moms are like working. Like just because I'm the one bringing in the money doesn't mean that like she's not just as successful as me, if not more. Like she's putting in the hard work, dealing with things that are new. Like it's not like, have no idea what's coming up. Like you have no idea what's going to be tomorrow. Like whether the emotions of our daughter's up, she's sick, she's this, she's that. Like you never know. And I mean, again, like that was kind of the point where we're like, hey, like we'll make it work. And now like she runs Tread. I mean, with like we have a head coach, but like she does all the calls for it. She does all the helping with like booking of that. And I mean, her and a head coach manage our Tread gyms, both of those. I take on barbell by myself with with a head coach. And then Stephanie, our head coach at CrossFit, I mean, has that whole thing. And then I kind of like oversee / like check in with everybody. But like it's become a little bit more like now that our daughter's in school, like there's more free time. Like now she just wants to crush. Now she just wants to do more gyms and more bookings and like get more leads and get more people through the door. I'm excited to see what that looks like, especially as our daughter goes into full pre-K next year, where like where Whitney will have 5-7 hours to sit down in front of a computer and just hash out phone calls. I mean, we're like top 3 on the dials right now in the BLG community. I'm like, I can only imagine what it's like if she has 8 hours or 6 hours, 5 days a week to be able to do that instead of 2. So, I mean, I'm excited. I mean, it's exciting, like I said, but it's a family business now. She's not working somewhere else and me doing this on my own. It's like we work together.
Yeah, Nicole and I had that same conversation early on. You know, the Cameron, my daughter, Nicole was working full time, and between the two of us, our circumstance, like the beat you over the head hammer, was we're both working so that we can pay the nanny.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You know, so between, so in support of our lifestyle, like that, like the math doesn't match.
Yeah.
You know, and so that was the uncomfortable conversation that we had. And then when the pandemic hit, it was like, hey, all hands on deck. That's when we became a family business. And making it through that over the last 5 years brought us to a place where, hey, what if you just got to be mom?
Yeah.
Right? And I don't mean that I don't diminish her role by any means when I say just be mom. And we had been on the grind for so long to get to this point. I just remember the tears coming out of her eyes that I didn't know that was an option. It's like that, you talk about your highest and best use, the highest and best self. Like that's her, People were like, oh, how's Nicole doing with, all the transition and stuff like that? It's like, she's the happiest she has ever been. Yeah. And with that, she's like, she's a worker too. Now that I know what this looks like and our priorities are in order,
Yeah.
right? This is what I can give back.
Yeah.
Let's paint that picture. And it's, dude, the energy, not that it was ever bad, but it's so much better when you have that kind of clarity and you're of priority. Anything that I walked away from that deal because I'm in the best place I've ever been as a husband and a father. And there's no you can't dangle a big enough carrot that would make me compromise that. And when you're walking with that kind of clarity, as it sounds like you and Whitney have, it's like now you can move mountains.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's creating the structure and creating the people around you that that you can move mountains, that you can. I've knock on wood, I've not coached an evening class. I've not been at the gym past 10 a.m. and except for exceptions where I'm waiting on a delivery or something like that. I leave there at 10 a.m. I'm back home. I'm behind a computer for a couple more hours. I'm with my daughter. We will, as soon as she gets up at usually at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, we'll go hang out in the pool out back. We'll have a snack together. And I'm spending time with her. It's come back to that. But but I also know that if there's hard times necessary, there's hard times. And I'll have the hard conversation with my wife. And again, I would have it with Addie if I felt like she would understand it. But there's truths that are there where hey, this needs to be done so that we can do this. And if there's a hard point coming back up, I'm all in. There was a point, when we were open tread down in Henderson between January and February, where my business partner was wanting me to golf and this was coming on. I'm like, nope. I'm like, not till this fucker opens. I was like, every single minute that I could be making another ad, making another phone call, creating another creative, those are the minutes, because I'm not going to leave a stone unturned, because I'm going to show that I can be successful at this. And whatever that takes, I'm willing to put forth. But like I said, I also know that you need to have endpoints. You need to have get off periods too, where you can start to unload and have not the stability plan or whatever you want to call it, but hey, have a nice, hey, we're going to get here and then we're going to build it to the next thing. And then I'm going to sit here. I'm going to oversee everything. And then I'm going to be all right, what's our next move to get from wherever we're at to the next level? And if that means that I need to be there in the evenings, or if I need to be there on the weekends or do whatever, that's what we're going to do. You know what I mean? And be comfortable, having that understanding and hey, there's going to be hard points and there's going to be easier points, but continuing to drive and move it forward.
Yeah. It's what I'm hearing from you in the way that you engage with your wife is very similar to the agreements that Nicole and I have, in that as you move from phase to phase in your family and your business, it seems like you're really good, very proactive in updating your agreements, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that worked for us back here when we just had a gym. Now we have 3. What served us back then no longer serves us. Let's update the program. It was just us 2. Now we have our daughter. What works for us? What serves us now? And there's so many, and I've worked with so many people that are just not conscious of the update. That a lot the friction in their lives is just simply because you're running an outdated program. Right? It's not that any of the pieces are wrong, you know. So what brought that to your consciousness that it's such a part of the process for you?
I think it actually works both ways, because Whitney will also bring things to me and be like, that no longer serves us. There's times where very early on when we had 10, 15, 20 members, you went to every birthday, you went to every event, you went to this, you went to that. And Whitney's like, no, you don't need to. That the gym will still be there tomorrow if you don't go to the bar and hang out with everybody. Just because you're invited, you don't need to be there. Just because there's this event going on. And again, I'm not saying that I'm removed, but I'm much more targeted and much more I don't need to do something week after week after week. I can jump in, I can jump out, I can mayor the situation, and I can pull myself out. One of our coaches had what was it called? Something sunset. They did basically a big hike, or not a hike, but a 2-mile walk Saturday at sunset. And she had her whole community, and like we just surprise showed up, and like it meant a lot to her that like I was just there, because she's like, hey, like Joe cares that like I'm present, and that like me, Whitney, and Addie all showed up. But like, does that mean that I'm going to be at every single one? No. Like, I mean, it's the like showing up, giving presents, showing people that they're doing the right things and that you're proud of them, and that you like that you're vulnerable about that, and telling people that like, hey, like I support you in anything that I can do to make your life better, or like to help out. I'm there for it. But like also knowing that like, hey, like the community will support the community, and that you don't always have to be the cog that like pulls everybody together within that. You don't need to be the focal point that on a Saturday night brings everybody downtown for burgers and beers. And you don't need to do that Saturday after Saturday after Saturday. Doesn't mean you shouldn't show up from time to time and surprise everybody, but like that, like you need to like, and I think that, I mean, my wife very holds my hand to that. Like, hey, like, no, like you like, or it will just like question, like she's a little bit more like I get something routine, and then like I become super routine, and then she's like, we don't need to do that anymore. Let's revisit it. And then like, you're right.
And what you're describing actually brings more value to your presence than detracts from it. And that it's the catch-22, because these behavior, these patterns, these routines were celebrated for them. There was a positive outcome to it for a period of time. And when you're deep in it or so involved, it's sometimes it's hard to come up for air for long enough to realize for yourself that no longer serves you. And it's I commend Whitney, and I celebrate Nicole, because they are very much on the outside looking in on a lot of these things that drive us. And they're like, hey, have we stopped to like look at this for a second? Like, Nicole is very, very good. And I love this, because it really stops me in my tracks. It makes me assess my situation when she's like, hey, what are we doing this summer? Like, I couldn't tell you what I'm doing in the next 5 minutes. You want to talk about the next, we'll talk about 5 weeks from now? You know? But
you have plans for the summer? No.
It's such a good temperature check.
I'm
as opposed to like the flying by the seat of the pants. Ooh, I can fit this in. Let's go do that. She's very much a planner, and that balances me out so much.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous. I mean, it's been planned now for 2 years, but we're going to Europe for 21 days.
Nice.
July 6th through like the 20, whatever that is. And 3 weeks away from the gym. Like, I mean, I've done a week, like, I mean, but like I'm a big like short term, like get out, like, but I've never like stepped away from everything for that long. So like, I mean, it'll be nice to like see what breaks, see like when I come back, like where my like focus needs to lie. But like it's
that is so healthy. That is so good. And I invite you to the best of your ability to assuage yourself of that anxiety, and just know that is so necessary to really get a realistic temperature check on your operation. Because if you're always there, if it's always within arm's reach, you have no idea where the gaps are really. You know what I mean? And because as we've been through our transition process, what was really like just enlightening for me, and it was born out of necessity, not necessarily a conscious decision like you're making. Over the last 6 months, this is the least I've been around. And nothing broke. And our clients were still happy, and things were progressing. And it was very validating for me for this thing that I was not necessarily aware of. Like, oh my God, I did do a good job. Like I do have the right people on the team. This is awesome. And obviously you got to jump back into that responsible owner seat. you can't, just go overboard with it. But at the same
Yeah.
time, it's nice to know that, if Mycal wants time off or Mycal wants to go take this trip with the family, we're good.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I don't. Yeah.
For
I
you,
don't know
man,
if it was blind luck. I don't know if it was
man.
blind luck or if it was done on I know it wasn't done intentful, but I didn't have enough room inside my gym to build an office. So my office is at my house.
Yeah.
So whenever I do any type of work, I leave the gym and I feel like it does make them I get more work done because people aren't knocking on my door saying, I got a little bit of a shoulder thing. Can you show me those bands again? And you're like, well, if I don't show them the bands, they're going to cancel their membership. That's what immediately is going on in the back of your head. And two is as soon as I show them the bands, I'm not going to get back to my desk for probably another hour. So by blind luck, my office was at my house and not at the gym. So I've been able to over the years, be able to pull myself out and allow them to stand on their own and make decisions.
Yes.
And it's different when you knock on the door or just ask a quick question, but when you have to call somebody or you have to text somebody, you double think, do I know how to solve this on my own?
Yeah.
And and then after you do it, it's not they usually the second time it doesn't happen again.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the right people in place.
Right.
And I feel that's been a savior is that I have been removed. Yep. Not removed to where I'm going to Europe for 3 weeks and I can't just if there's a tsunami tomorrow, which has happened, where the roof starts flooding, that I can't be down there to with buckets to help out and fix it. Right. But in the same regard, they also know what to do, and I feel if there is yes, they'll take it on their own to be able to do that. Yeah, and give them that kind of leeway, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and that's the abundance thinking, right? Is by in my absence, I'm empowering you to take ownership of your role in this mission and this vision, and gives them an opportunity to do something to be proud of, and you celebrate them for it upon your return. That's awesome. That's awesome. And that is a huge piece of building something great that a lot of people miss, and it stifles their growth because they don't do it enough.
The letting go, letting somebody take own accountability for it.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the 80%, right? It's it's not going to be as good as Mycal's going to do it. It's not going to be as good as Joe's going to do it. It's just no, dude, create opportunities for them to prove themselves. Not to you, but to themselves.
Yeah. And it was the best. When I gave, not gave up, but I gave over all onboarding of new members, reaching out to leads on the CRM and all that. When I gave that away, and I would still if it wasn't within 1 minute, I'd still jump on there and leave a text, and Stephanie would yell at me. She'd be like, I got it. And you'd be like, we're gonna go from here way down. And again, I don't want to say that it was a perfect send off, but I think it might have dropped 5 or 10% 1 month. But now we've had 3 of back-to-back of our best months ever, with me being completely hands off everything. Other than, again, just the coach. I coach the 6 a.m. purely because I love it. I want to still be in it. I want to be in the thing. It helps me start my day. It holds me accountable to certain things. Yep. But in the same regard, I can give it away for 3 weeks and come back to it.
That's
awesome,
what
type of deal.
Yeah.
But
congrats.
Yeah, it's exciting. Nice. It's nerve-wracking and exciting all at the same time. You know how it is. Best. Yeah. It's
that's
Ohio weather.
It stretches you, it forces you to grow, and at the same time, that's what's done me. Because you and I are cut from the same cloth in that regard. If I'm within arm's reach, I'll make myself available. Yeah. And so our routine as a family is, we leave the state. It forces me to surrender to whatever may come,
whatever happens.
So it does me zero good. It helps my family absolutely nada to be thinking about the gym while we're hiking through Yellowstone.
Yeah.
So it's a great relief from the pressure valve to just be present with your family and be all in on that for the 21 days you're gone or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's and then we are I mean, you saw one side of the gym, but when I get back, I have a month before we re-grand open barbell with the 4,000 square foot expansion. So that'll happen in September. That'll happen in September. We all the equipment's, I mean, equipment time, I didn't realize on like custom pieces is like 6 months. So it's it's not like the time frame we wanted. It's the time frame that the equipment companies have told us it's going to take us to get the equipment to do the space. So like that's next on the blocks. And then once that's all set, then eyes on continuing to do more, continue to grow.
Yeah. Is the big vision more facilities take over Vegas, or what's next in terms of creating opportunities that others can create opportunities for themselves?
I think that would all lie in the expansions of tread gyms, just because it's the model that I feel like I could move forward with that has the most opportunity for like growth. I think our barbell gym works very well because where we're located and has some built-in like unique characteristics that are like unique to us because of where our location is. Our CrossFit, I mean, I opened it 8 years ago, like not boom of CrossFit, but not in where it's at now with, mixed messaging, and people like it, they hate it. If they are doing it, they have an affinity for the gym that they're at. Like they're not leaving it unless that one closes. Like it'd be very tough to like reinvent the wheel with, more of that. And that being said, like, I don't think I haven't maxed out. Like I haven't squeezed every drop of the facility that I have. So like expansion of that on its own doesn't make sense for me. I feel like, I'd rather, there's always opportunity for more classes, more people per class, or and a combination of that. So like not like expanding the floor just because there's 20 people 3 days in a row. Everybody's like freaks out. Like I listen to more gym owners that have like 4,000, 5,000 square feet. And they're like, my classes are capped. I was like, well, like how many people do you have in their class? They're like 12 to 15. I was like, so change your workouts. They're like, but Mayhem's program needs a rower and a barbell and a box facing burpee and a rig. And I'm like, change your workout. Like just make it work. Like be a coach people that they don't need that. Like coach them, like just coach them that like, hey, like it doesn't have to be this exact way. And that you can change the workout. You can sell barbells. You can still do all that, but make it work to, the limitations or the building of what you want to do within inside the space. Because you just end up diluting it when it just gets bigger and bigger. You just, all that extra money for rent is typically right out of the owner's pocket. So like you go back to the drawing board of like you're poor again. You're rich. You have 250 members, but you're poor again because you're barely reaching rent. So like I would rather just do more stuff. Now that being said, if another coach or somebody else were to come along and say, hey, I want to open a gym over here, and like they'd like me to mentor or buy in, like I'm against it. Please don't open in the parking lot. But like at the end of the day, I'm a lot like you. Like, go ahead, open the parking lot. It's going to be a tough battle. Like, I'm not quitting.
Let's grow, baby.
We'll find out who fucking quits first. And I'm like, I got saunas, I got boot camp, I got 24-hour access, I got 9 classes a day. I'm like, if you want to open with all that right out of the gate, by all means, we can compete. If not, you're gonna have to figure out your path or like your avatar, because like the 5 people aren't coming with you, and if they are, let them, but they'll probably come back. You know what I mean? But like, hey, like friendly competition. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah.
Joe Tepe, everybody, dude. Where can everybody find you online and off the strip, man?
Yeah, here in Las Vegas, right off the strip, less than a mile or two from most hotels. My Instagram's JTPLV, or at the Strip CrossFit, the Strip Barbell, or Tread Vegas. Those are our 3 different fitness concepts.
Love it.
Yeah,
really appreciate you taking the time, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me,
dude.
Awesome, Mycal. Enjoy the rest of your week.
We'll do it again. Love you, brother.
All right, I'll talk to you.
Yep.